G'day folks, this is Sim and welcome to the Windborne Alpha Preview. Windborne is a new game that's coming out from Hidden Path Entertainment. I've been lucky enough to receive an invitation to the preview and a Steam key, and I reckon it's something that's going to be worth sharing with you guys, so let's dive right in and see what we're getting ourselves into. Now, before we go any further, I do want to make it very clear that this is an early alpha release of the game. What we're seeing here is not even close to finished. It's very likely that many, if not all things, may change. I don't think it'll be quite that bad, but we'll see how it goes. There's probably going to be bugs, there's probably going to be glitches. We're likely to have situations where the developers reset the world and whatever we've done up until that point we may lose completely. That's all to be expected in an alpha release. However, I do think that at the stage that the game is at the moment, it's definitely worth diving into and seeing what we can do while we have this opportunity, and I'm certainly looking forward to you guys coming along on the journey with me. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Okay, I thought it might be a good idea to do a sound check, considering this is the first time that I've ever recorded this game. Everything seems to be in order, so we're ready to rock and roll. Now, I will have a bit of a wander around, and that way you can see what's happening in the world, and we'll talk a little bit more about the game itself. The first thing that we're probably noticing is that the game has a certain Minecrafty look about it, and that's because it's in the same genre as Minecraft. This is a sandbox game with a world that is pretty much fully deformable. You'll see that unlike Minecraft, it's a lot smoother, and that's one of the differences in the mechanics of the game, and there are quite a few differences in this game to Minecraft, so don't think it's just another clone. Believe me, this is a game all to itself, and I'm expecting some really good things. Now, I'm going to have to learn to stop saying now. I say that far too often, and you're probably going to hear it a lot now that I've mentioned it. Firstly, I'm not going to go too heavily into the basics of the game. There are some really good tutorials put out by the developer, and the developer is Hidden Path Entertainment, by the way. And I'll actually link those tutorials in the video description, so anybody who is actually interested in finding out can check them out and go from there. I will try to explain what I'm doing as I do things, just so that hopefully people aren't left too much in the dark. But we'll start off with some of the very basic stuff, which is actually well, basically digging and building. And if we move up to pretty much anything in the game, we can interact with it in a couple of ways. Something like this little sheep here, you'll notice down on my hotbar I've got some wool, and if I happen to, let's take this out, I'll bring up my inventory very quickly, and I'll take that out so that my hands aren't showing so much and we've got a little bit of a better view. If I come up to one of these little guys, we'll notice that we can actually interact with him, and we do that by hitting the E key, and he makes a little noise. Isn't he cute? And the wool in my inventory has actually gone up. Now, he's not infinite. If I go and click on him again, I won't get anything, but if I click on any of his mates, I most certainly can. I don't know how long it's going to be before they respawn, if they respawn at all with the game as it stands. We'll discover that as time goes by. Now, the next most important thing is how we interact with the terrain itself. It's very, very straightforward. If we hold down the right mouse button, we will start removing blocks. and as you can see, they all fall if they're out of range. And as we move over them, we can pick them up. Now to place blocks, it's just left mouse click. So if I have one of the blocks highlighted in my hand and I left click, it will throw that down and place that block. Now obviously this is nowhere near as smooth as the rest of the terrain was, and to correct that we need to be able to deform the blocks that we've actually placed. We do that by holding down the shift key and then either holding down right or left click, or just right or left clicking the block. Now come on, here you go. I get a starting point there, and we can bring this corner down, and we'll bring this corner down here too. We might bring these pieces up a little if it will let us. I'm not sure how far up we can go before we have to actually place a block in that position, but let's just very roughly level this out as much as we can. And oops, see if we can get it looking at least close to how it was when we started. Well, now you'll notice if we deform too much, we'll actually pop blocks back out. So there's obviously a decision going on in the game at some point there, which will lift that up if it will let us. There we go. Take that down. But as you see here, we can slowly level out and smooth out the terrain, and eventually have it looking a lot more organic as it is here. And we'll certainly play with this more as time goes by. Let's continue our very, very quick tour of the world. The world is made up of these islands. In the multiplayer version of the game, I expect there'll be more islands. I don't really know yet exactly how it works. I haven't had a chance to get that far. Let's just make ourselves a stairway here so we can very quickly jump up and continue along. Alright, we obviously have different terrain or biomes. That's a desert of some sort over there. We've got the mountainy area there with what looks like granite rock. We've got the plains type and forests and so forth. You'll notice the glowing patches and the different coloured patches on the undersurface, and the reason for that is there are quite a few minerals in the game, and we can find the minerals by mining down and digging into the terrain itself. Now obviously we don't want to fall off, although from the experiments that I've done so far, if we do make the mistake of falling off the world, at this point in time we just get popped back up to the top again, so it's not too bad. I don't know whether that will change in the future or not. So let's just get over somewhere where there's some exposed minerals. What have we got? Go for a quick run around here and see what we can find. Okay, if we want to get up there, well, let's just make ourselves a little bit of a ramp, because we can do that. A few blocks popped out, I'll grab those for later. And over here, and here we go. We should be able to get down here without too much trouble. I might grab that, because that looks like it's a little bit off, and let's just deform this down here and make ourselves a bit of a pathway down. I have to assume that anything that falls off the edge of the world is gone forever. should do. Now, what do we have over here? We have some granite and hang on a second, no we don't. What we have, let's bring the inventory up and get rid of some of these things that we're not going to play with right now. Let's just have a closer look at what that was. Okay, are we getting anything out of there, or we took, oh yes, so you can see that a block has fallen and something else as well. So here we go. Now we can have a look, and we've got granite and raw gems. Okay, over here we've got some reddish deposits. Oops, we don't want to throw the raw gems down. Let's pick them back up again. Let's grab this red. And what's this black stuff here? And what have we picked up? We have picked up coal ore, iron ore. We've got some glow moss. I think I actually picked that up originally when I first jumped in to just get a basic idea, because I don't think we've picked up any of that yet. Let's just have a look around here and see if we can see any, just to give an indication of what it... okay, I think that's the glow moss. Let's try. And now we've got 8, so that's the glow moss. Alright, so obviously we can mine on the surface. Okay, I don't think I've got any of this before. What's this? Gold. Lovely. Okay, so now where did we come down? We came down from up there. Oh, hello. So we're going to need to get back up again. I may as well grab this. Is there anything else lying around? Doesn't appear to be. Okay, so let's just make our way back up to the surface, and one of the first things I did discover is you can pillar, which certainly is really helpful. And here we go. There does appear to be a day-night cycle. I suspect that ooh, can we jump up? Not quite. Okay, let's just make ourselves another little ramp. There we go. And something we missed before. And let's head back over here and we will discuss the crafting and the machines that are in the game. Come on, let me up. That's it. So, when you start the game at the moment, you come into the world and you have a dragon stone. Now the dragon stone is effectively a teleport to home device, so if I bring up the menu and go respawn, it will take me back to my dragon stone. We also have a few basic machines. We've got something called a shaper, a stove, a workbench, and an idyllic chest. And obviously there are again similarities between this and Minecraft. The shape is quite interesting because we've got an input, we've got a blade slot, and we happen to start the game with this iron blade. And what do we have here? We have some wooden sticks and some grasslands tree bark. Let's pop the grasslands tree bark in there and see what happens. Okay, we get wood planks. And do we get anything else? Oh, okay, we also get fine wood planks, and we even get superb wood planks. Obviously, from the looks of the numbers, there's a rarity going on here. And we can in fact walk away from this and it will continue to work. That's in the tutorials. We go back in, it's hammering away, but we'll just take those sticks out of there. We might leave the blade, and you can see there's some durability gone from that blade, so obviously it doesn't last forever. Now we have a stove here, and the stove is very straightforward. We've got our coal ore. I wonder if we can pop that in there. Yes, we can, and it looks like it took a couple of them to fill that up. And if we throw, what do we have? Iron ore. If we throw the iron ore in there, then we are now cooking up some iron ingots, and the heat bar is slowly going down. Now I am curious, if I take those iron ingots out when we get a few of them, 7, 8 should be enough. We'll take those and we'll take out that there. Is that heat going to continue to go down, or is it going to stay? Looks like it's going to stay for the time being. Okay, and a workbench, I'll cover that in just a moment, and everybody's favourite, the chest. Now, crafting. It's actually getting quite dark now. Actually, that's probably a good place to start. If we bring up our inventory, you'll notice over here we've got some menu options. Now, gin, social settings, my character, and the island map are all currently unavailable, but we do have the crafting guide. And the crafting guide allows us to see all of the different things that we can actually craft in the game. If they're checkered out like this, we don't have what we need to actually craft them at the moment. But if they're fully visible, then we should have what we need available to us. Now, some of the things that we need to craft, we may need to go one step further, and we may actually need to be within range of a workbench to be able to craft them. Let's have a very quick look again. Idyllic chests, what else do we have here that we might be able to play with? Idyllic mirrors, we must be near a fine workbench, so we currently obviously just have a normal workbench, and to make a mirror we need to upgrade our workbench, so we'll work on that a little bit later. But I did notice in here we have torches. Torches can be crafted out of wool and grasslands tree bark, so let's craft up 1 or 2 of those, and they appear immediately over here in our inventory, so we'll throw them down there. And if we then come around here, bring up our torches, and let's just shed a bit of light onto this place. Let's put one, give it a bit of a spread out. We'll pop one there, and we'll pop one there. Don't give out a massive amount of light, but that's enough to get us started. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, I've just checked the time, and I do want to try and keep these episodes short and snappy so that they're easier to watch. It can be hard to find time to fit longer episodes in, so I think we might actually call this episode here, but we'll finish on a question. Now, there's not an enormous amount that we can do in the game as it stands right now. There is a lot coming. In fact, I might quickly go over that right now. So what is Windborne offering? We'll take a look at the wiki page and see what it has to say there. Windborne brings social sandbox creation games to the next level. Explore a vibrant world filled with secrets to unlock, treasures to find. Craft personalised furnishings and innovative artefacts, and befriend the intriguing Jinn to help them build a new civilization. Will you seek out the clues and artifacts of the ancients, or just loot passing islands for minerals and rare plants? Bring along your friends while you play, share your creations with the world. Where will the wind take you? Inspired by games such as Animal Crossing, Minecraft, Dwarf Fortress and the early Zeldas, expect more on Windborne and Steam Early Access release later in 2013. The gameplay is going to feature building, crafting, exploring, guiding, and the guiding is to do with the race called the Jinn, which are going to appear later, and we can actually help them to build a civilization and defend it, and we can teach them, and apparently they will be able to help us in return. There are supposedly dragonlings coming to the game, which will unlock special abilities, including the ability to fly. There will be combat with enemies attacking your island, or you will be able to assault a copy of your friend's islands to test its defences. From what I can gather, the combat itself will be completely optional in the game, so you won't be forced to fight if you don't want to. And there are also going to be quests to allow you to do optional challenges for all sorts of other rewards. Now, hang on a second, I'm just going to pause this while I check something else for you. Yes, I thought I saw it mentioned somewhere. In the FAQ, it also mentions that there will be dungeons in the game, so we will have quite a few things to explore. Now, the question that I'm going to leave this episode on this time is, if we don't have a lot in the way of quests and other things to play with right now, I am going to be focusing quite a bit on the building and the crafting in the game early on to see how that all works and how effective we can get with it. So I need to make a decision, and that decision is, do I build down here on the plain somewhere, or do I instead flatten out the terrain up here on the mountain? I'd prefer to work on these mountains rather than over there in the desert, but I do want to have close access to it. Or do I go with the other option, which is to actually mine into the ground and actually make an underground base? So, plains, mountaintop, or underground base? What should we do next? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and we will pick things up from there. I hope you've enjoyed this introductory video. I don't know how long we're going to go with this. A lot of that will depend upon the game. I'm really hoping that it does pan out well, but regardless of what happens, hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. It's certainly been great having you here with me. Look after yourselves, and ciao for now.